Hello everyone. Alright. I was going to do the video tomorrow, but I was a little unsure about whether or not I was going to have time to, because we have Comcast coming in and then we may be going to Grandma's. Just so you know, this is from my old headset. It's broken, but my microphone here is kind of messing up, so I want to do this. Now this rant is going to be about Westboro Baptist Church, and I do have a web page explaining them, so I will need to put my glasses on. So you will see some glare, and I am truly sorry about that. I will put a link to this page that explains them, but I just want to read it because I actually found something out. I did not know they hated gays this much, or not gays, Jews this much. But let me just read this. The Topeka, Kansas-based Westboro Baptist Church, also known as WBC, is a small, virulently homophobic and anti-Semitic hate group that regularly stages protests around the country, often several times a week. The group pickets institutions and individuals they think support homosexuality or otherwise subvert what they believe is God's law. Incorporated in 1967 as a not-for-profit organization, WBC considers itself an old-school Baptist church. WBC's leader is Fred Phelps, and several of his children, dozens of his grandchildren, appear to constitute the majority of the group's members. WBC has no official affiliation with mainstream Baptist organizations. While WBC members have protested at Jewish institutions over the years, such institutions were not a major focus for the group until April 2009. Since then, WBC has targeted dozens of Jewish institutions around the country, from Israeli consulates to synagogues to Jewish community centers, distributing anti-Semitic flyers to announce planned protests at these sites. WBC also has been sending flyers to announce volumes, in some cases dozens over the course of a week, of faxes and emails with anti-Semitic and anti-gay messages to various Jewish institutions. Individuals. I'm sorry, guys. I can't read. Can't read out loud like that. In addition, in April 2010, the group began mailing a virulently anti-Semitic DVD to Jewish organization leaders. The DVD also tags President Obama, describing him as the Antichrist, and is filled with anti-gay and anti-Catholic vitriol. Other WBC targets include schools the group deems to be accepting of homosexuality, Catholic, Lutheran, and other Christian denominations that WBC feels are heretical, and funerals for people murdered or killed in accidents like plane crashes, and for American soldiers killed in Iraq and Afghanistan, a tactic the group started in 2005. Though the group's specific focus may shift over time, they believe that nearly all Americans and American institutions are sinful, so nearly any individual or organization can be targeted. And here's a good example of that one. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to give you an example. I found out from Philip DeFranco, actually, one day, that they picketed outside an anime convention saying that they were worshiping false gods. There's one. Oh, and they also did picket out of in front of the funeral for the 9-year-old that was killed in the Arizona shootings that involved the congresswoman. In fact, WBC members say that God's hatred is one of his holy attributes, and that their picketing is a form of preaching to a doomed country unable to hear their message in any other way. Additionally, the group has tried to stage protests in foreign countries. In February 2009, the WBC announced plans to travel to Great Britain to protest the staging of a school theater of the Laramie Project, a play about the vicious murder of a young gay man, Matthew Shepard, in 1998. British government officials barred the group from entering the country. Thank you. The group made it to Canada in August 2008, where they picketed the funeral of a young man who was the victim of a brutal murder on the Greyhound bus, which was national news in that country. Authorities were reportedly trying to prevent the group from entering their country, but the WBC claims it was able to evade the Canadian Border Patrol agents to stage the protest. So my personal comments, and this is not just gay marriage, this is other things I've heard them protest against, is they are so filled with hate, and it's so unbearable to see them just pick at things that are just unnecessary. I mean, they really put a lot of churches to bad name, and this is why a lot of people aren't Christian anymore, because the fact that they see the Westboro Baptist Church and they're worried that other churches may be the same way. Other churches may not be as accepting of gays or, Jews or anything like that, or just anything really. And it just hurts to see them work so hard to make life unbearable. I mean, they were picketing a 9-year-old's funeral, saying that she deserved it or whatever. The 9-year-old didn't deserve a gunshot to her head or wherever she got shot at. She didn't deserve that. She wasn't supporting the Antichrist or anything like that. Poor girl probably doesn't even know what the Antichrist was. And it hurts me to see them pick it outside of, soldiers' funerals, because they die to protect this church. They die to protect us and this church. These churchmen, or these people of the church, I'm sorry. These people of the church are citizens. They die every day to protect citizens. Therefore, they're dying to protect WBC. And then they dare to come and picket the funerals. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I had fallen in Iraq or Afghanistan and then say, like, I'm a ghost, because I do believe in ghosts, and I'm there at my funeral, and I see these guys pick at me because I was a sinner, or I went to Iraq or Afghanistan, I'd be hurt. I'd be like, excuse me, I just saved your guys' lives. I died trying to save your lives. How can you do this? How can you do this to my family who's crying over me, and then you come up and say they're sinners, they should have died, they're going to hell, they're in hell, they're suffering in hell, and they deserve it. You can't. It's unbearable. So don't do it. So anyway, before my mom wakes up and tells me to go to bed, I have to go to bed. So hopefully this is better audio, and if it is, this is how I'm going to do my videos from now on. I will be using this microphone. And I will put the link either before I go to bed or before I leave tomorrow or something. I will put it up in one of these few days, and then we'll see how things go. So, yeah. Hope you guys like this. Bye, everyone.